In a long, difficult project, you know, that feeling when the end just seems miles and miles away? Well, this one's for you. Today, we're going to dig into what it really takes to push through those moments of doubt using some incredible insights from the scholar Dr. Paul. All right, let's dive in. The courage to continue. Just let that phrase sit with you for a second. If you're in the thick of it right now, whether it's a research project, starting a business, or any huge creative endeavor, these next few minutes are for you, right where you are on your journey.
Let's just get real about what this path feels like. It's not always about the big external pressures from committees or your peers. So often, it's about the internal battle, that nagging little voice in your head asking, is this actually any good? Am I any good? That sense of being on your own is so real, and just calling it out, just acknowledging it is a huge first step.
Okay, so when you're faced with all that pressure and that loneliness, you hit a fork in the road. And Dr. Paul frames this whole journey as a series of choices you have to make. See, it's less about what happens to you, and it's all about how you choose to respond. This is where a true scholar's mindset really starts to take shape.
So this first choice, it's a big one. Skepticism is going to come at you from all sides, sometimes from people you really respect. And it is so easy to let that doubt creep in. But the scholar's move isn't to get all defensive. It's to anchor yourself even deeper in your purpose. You have to remind yourself why you even started this thing. That why becomes your North Star.
And next up, you've got to choose the path itself. Look, there's always an easier way out, a shortcut, and you'll see plenty of people taking it. But the scholar's choice? It's to embrace the grind. To work with discipline, not because it's fun, but because the work itself demands that level of respect. And honestly, the real breakthroughs, they only happen on that tougher road.
And then there's this. The pressure is absolutely going to build. Deadlines, setbacks, harsh feedback, it can feel like you're caught in a storm. The natural impulse is just to give up, to quit. But the most important choice right here is to be steadfast, to just remain steady. Now, this isn't about being a robot with no emotions. It's about being resilient. It's about holding your course when the waves are crashing all around you.
So all of these choices we're talking about, believing in your purpose, working with discipline, staying steady, they all take courage. But what does that word even mean here? It's probably not the heroic, cape-wearing version we see in the movies. No, it's something a lot quieter and way more powerful.
So what is this courage, really? When you picture it in your own work, what pops into your head? A single dramatic moment of bravery? Some loud declaration of your genius? Well, Dr. Paul has a definition that might just change how you see it completely.
And there it is. Courage isn't noise. It's not the big, flashy announcement of your project. It is simply consistency. It's the quiet, unseen, day in and day out habit of just showing up. The work nobody else sees you doing. That's the real engine of progress.
So how do we actually do this? How do we practice this kind of courage? Well, it boils down to these three things. First, you have to think deeply, to really do the hard mental work. Second, you have to persist quietly. That means keep going, even when you're not getting applause or validation. And third, you just have to move forward, especially when the path ahead is fuzzy. That's real courage, taking that next step into the fog, just trusting the process.
Okay, so we've talked about the choices you have to make, and we've defined courage as this quiet consistency. So where does all this lead? What's the one thing, the true hallmark of someone who actually makes it through this incredibly difficult journey?
It all comes down to this: daring to be different. It means daring to believe when everyone else doubts you, daring to take the hard road when others are looking for the shortcut, daring to stay steady when everyone else is quitting. It's that conscious, continuous choice to not just follow the crowd. And that is the payoff. Daring to be different isn't just some nice phrase for a motivational poster. Dr. Paul says this is the actual, true hallmark of success. It's a direct result of all those small, courageous, and consistent choices that you make all along the way.
So every single day, you're standing at this fork in the road. You've got the path of others, it's easier, it's more crowded, it's well lit. And then you have the path of the scholar. It's lonelier, it's harder, but ultimately it is yours. So the question we'll leave you with is pretty simple to ask, but it's profound to answer. What path will you choose?